Good evening, dear listeners. We have said goodbye to 2023 and a promising 2024 has just begun. A new year is like a new chapter that is full of potential but is unwritten. It's not only a moment of reflection but also of hope and anticipation for the opportunities that lie ahead. It's time to set new goals, embrace challenges, and cherish the lessons learned from the past. When I say it's a moment of reflection, let us pause and take a moment to think about 2023 when many historical milestones were achieved. India became the fourth nation to land an unmanned vehicle on the moon and was the first to do so near the lunar South Pole region. If you look at technology, then the launch of ChatGPT and many other freely available tools resulted in artificial intelligence becoming more mainstream and democratized. But at the same time, 2023 was not without its share of concerns. We saw yet another civil war in Sudan and also the tragic unfolding of the Israel-Palestinian conflict. It is important to cherish the lessons learned from the past in order to design our future. And the best way to predict your future is to create it. We need to therefore channel our collective sense of optimism and resolve to shape a better future. When I think of the future, I believe in the wisdom that people with goals succeed because they know where they are going. A new year is a special occasion because it is welcomed universally, albeit in myriad ways, and people across the globe plan their individual New Year's resolutions. I'm sure many of you may have already set out ambitious resolutions by now. If you have not, well, now is a good time to think, what could my 2024 resolution be? Remember, it is never too late to reflect on the past and look forward to the future with renewed hope and determination. Let me start by telling you about the history of New Year resolutions, which can be traced back to an unbelievable 4,000 years. This was done by the Babylonians, who were an ancient civilization lying somewhere in and around modern-day Iraq. At the start of each year, the Babylonians used to make promises to their gods that they would return borrowed objects and pay off their debts. Today, this ancient practice continues, although it has evolved and changed over the years. According to historians, now we do not make promises to gods in particular. Instead, we make more secular resolutions related to self-improvement. Many people make resolutions related to health, such as joining a gym and losing weight. Some resolutions could be related to learning a new skill or pursuing a hobby. For some, it could be going minimalistic and cutting down unnecessary spending, while others would regard mental health as a top priority and thus pursue yoga and practice meditation. All these resolutions are undoubtedly important, but I would like to inspire you to steer away from resolutions confined to personal milestones. Instead, let's embark on a collective journey that transcends the individual and extends its reach to encompass the broader tapestry of our local communities, national aspirations that impact the global arena. You may wonder why we should have such a mindset. Well, that's because it is part of our culture and is in our DNA. Our Upanishads teach us the values of Vasudeva Kutumbakam, which roughly means seeing the world as one family, That is, prioritizing the collective well-being over individual or family interests. And here is how we can zoom out and take a big lens to understand how we should look at setting resolutions. Firstly, let's focus on the smallest view, our neighborhood. This is perhaps where our student and younger audience has a big role to play. Resolutions can take the form of community projects or supporting local education initiatives. This could take the form of tutoring a neighbor or a child who cannot afford private tuitions. Or you could organize study groups amongst your peer where you can help each other. As the adage goes, charity begins at home. The start of something big starts small. For example, when you plant trees in local parks, you can create an impact on the entire planet. Now, let's shift our lens to the broader scope of our communities. Here, I would also like to address our listeners who are working professionals. Your resolutions can become instruments of positive change within your cities and ultimately the nation. For example, your community resolutions could relate to mentoring the younger workforce, supporting indigenous businesses, or actively engaging in social causes. On a national scale, such resolutions can be made not only by working professionals, but anyone with a sense of purpose. Anyone can step up and be an advocate for social justice, bridge gaps of inequality, and contribute towards the development of our nation. We do have our fundamental duties and directive principles to guide us. But even championing causes such as Swachh Bharat Abhiyan can be your resolution and go a long way towards making a positive impact to your country. But why just the country? In the spirit of India, as a Vishwa Guru, we should lead and thereby demonstrate our unwavering faith and conviction in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This perspective is relevant for everyone, regardless of age or profession. Our beautiful planet deserves resolutions that reflect our commitment to environmental stewardship. Some of these resolutions may not yield the desired results in the beginning, but as you reduce your carbon footprint and advocate for sustainable practices and support initiatives combating climate change, they will have a wide-reaching impact. Each small action will add up to a global movement for a sustainable future. And as you navigate 2024 with your resolution, it's equally important to periodically reflect on and celebrate your achievements. Acknowledge the progress made, no matter how small, and use those victories as fuel for the journey ahead. Sometimes you may not see the impact of your resolution during your lifetime, which may take its own time to mature. Here, I'm reminded of a very relevant Greek proverb that roughly translated reads, "A society grows great when old men plant trees in whose shade they shall never sit." I am sure these are the values that made the ancient Greek empires one of the most significant ones in history. Achieving noble and ambitious resolutions requires more mindful living and better time management. Regardless of age or profession, consider minimizing wasteful activities, especially on social media. Incorporate a deliberate digital detox to achieve your daily resolutions. It is sad to see people across different generations addicted to their phones, which is so different from earlier times where family members of all ages would sit together for an evening of Antakshari. Put aside your phones and go out to meet an old grandmother or take an old grandfather out for a drive. You may not transform the planet, but making a difference in the life of even one person will be an achievement. Remember, every small resolution that makes someone happy is a success. To conclude, in this coming year, let our resolutions not only elevate our individual lives, but also contribute to the well-being of our communities and the planet. Some of these may appear small, and the impact of some may not be visible to you, but you do your karam without any attachment to the phal. So, dear listeners, thank you once again for joining us on this journey of reflection and resolution. Here's to a year of meaningful resolutions, shared growth, and a better world for all of us. Thank you, and a very happy new year.